Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in Line by Line. And today with Ironroot and Ezra, we are analyzing the song by Fiona Apple, Criminal. Ezra, why did you choose this song?
I just love this song since it came out. And it's one of the songs that gets stuck in my head the most, particularly that bass line at the beginning, the da na 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 na. It's like, regularly lives in my brain.
Nice. It's a good song.
Here we go. I can totally identify with this. I've been a bad, bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. And it's a sad, sad world when a girl will break a boy just because she can. Don't you tell me to deny it. I've done wrong and I want to suffer for my sin. I've come to you because I need guidance to be true. And I just don't know where I can begin. Oh, what I need is a good defense, because I'm feeling like a criminal, and I need to be redeemed. To the one I've sinned against, because he's all I ever knew of love. Heaven help me for the way I am. Save me from these evil deeds before I get them done. I know tomorrow brings the consequence at hand, but I keep living this day like the next will never come. Oh, help me, but don't tell me to deny it. I've got to cleanse myself of all these lies till I'm good enough for him. I've got a lot to lose and I'm better high, so I'm begging you. Before it ends, just tell me where to begin. Let me know the way before there's hell to pay. Give me room to lay the law and let me go. I've got to make a play to make my lover stay. So what would an angel say the devil wants to know?
Wow. Excellent lyrics. Thank you. So, Ezra, would you do the honors of reading the first stanza? We can go to analyze it.
Yeah. I've been a bad, bad girl. I've been careless with a delicate man. And it's a sad, sad world when a girl will break a boy just because she can. Carol?
Just like
I think we need to take a break.
Why? So it seems like the song was written by a 17-year-old or something.
I think it was.
Because there is always all those kind of enjoyment with self-deprecation. So, teens lived for like good 5-6 years in awkwardness. So they learned to harness it into those enjoying being the bad. And somehow it gives a little girl sense of empowerment. I don't know, I read Fiona's autobiography. She did have a really rough time, but yeah, so now it's very obvious how she harnessed it into being a bad girl. Yeah, I see there is sense of kind of enjoyment. Like she puts herself stronger than a man. Like it gives her a sense of strength over somebody. Yeah, that's it. Like, so I see her enjoying in breaking somebody who is stronger than her.
The delicate, stronger guy.
I mean, yeah, that's what she tells herself, I guess.
Okay. So It's interesting because she's implying that she's conscious of what she's doing, right? Like the carelessness that implies that she could make a different decision, and she still goes for effectively disaster, right? Like, and she's effectively putting bad into the world to see what happens, or whether she can do it, or and she's also recognizing what it does to her, and like what it says about the world that such a thing can occur.
Yeah, I like how she. What's that?
I
Sorry.
wanted to ask you, Ezra, what do you think? But
Oh,
that's okay.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting how it's like, I feel like we kind of go back and forth. So it's like she starts by saying she's been so bad, careless with the delicate man. And there's like a little sense of, I see that like she's building herself up. And then, but then I just think it's so funny how dramatic it is that it's this sad world where a girl will break a boy just because she can't. It's like, I guess it's like that thing where it's not just like I did a fucked up thing. It's like, no, the whole world's fucked up, and I'm just, it's like she's denying responsibility in a way. It's the sadness of the world, not that, she's, that it's really her fault. Even calling herself a bad girl, like it's something she can't control. She's just, like born bad. It's like a way to kind of say like, oh, I couldn't help it, maybe.
But
Yeah,
she does have a point here. The world is very sad at the moment, and there is a lot of very delicate men. But that's because masculinity is massively suppressed. But I'm not going into that subject in line by line.
I think it's like, I think I'm getting that like there's a little bit of like playful back and forth, because she's like saying that she's bad and the world's this bad place, but then she's like, you're delicate and I can just break you for fun. So it's really like, I'm really powerful, and she's kind of calling him weak in the same breath that she's pretending to take responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see the sad world as maybe the world that she lives in, right? So maybe it's not a statement about the world as such, but the world that she experiences.
And I love that she broke him just because she can. Like that's really like, it's kind of like shooting the man in Reno just to watch him die. It's like this kind of flex. She's flexing right at the beginning of the song that, she breaks boys just because she's so powerful.
It makes me think of a cat who will be just sitting on a shelf and just like move things until they fall. Like,
exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I can do that. How about that vase here? Or vase? Yeah.
Okay, so don't you tell me to deny it. I've done wrong and I want to suffer for my sins. I've come to you because I need guidance to be true, and I just don't know where I can begin.
Manuel, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a taste of self-flagellation that I get in there. Was like I want to be the bad person, and I want to be put in a position where I have to restore what I did wrong. So that's really perverse. And then there's an element of, okay, like there's a dependency, right? So she starts off with the bad girl and the agency that she has, but it's also implied that that's all she can do, because she can't do the good thing, right? So she's just like, oh, look at me being good at doing the bad thing, but like I can't do what I should be doing. I don't know how to change. And I need you. And so I think it's also an appeal for intimacy, right? So she's being destructive so that he can repair her. I think that's behind it.
Ezra?
I definitely agree with that. And where she like, wants to suffer. And there's this like playing up, it's like a delight in the situation. That she's done wrong and she wants to suffer for her sins, which, in a sense is like, and be redeemed. But it's like, I don't know. I was getting like a little Christ complex there, right? It's like, I want to take on the sins of everyone.
There's a roller coaster element as well, right? It's like, I want to go to the loop-de-loop.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that then I've come to you because I need guidance to be true. And I'm wondering, like, is this the guy? Like, is this the guy you broke that you're coming to? Because then that's even more twisted in a way. It's like, you need to guide me to be able to not break you. So I'm kind of wondering about that.
If it's the guy, then she came for forgiveness with all her fragility, kind of sad, but just in order for him to forgive her. So she's like, oh, I want to suffer for my sins, punish me because I did that bad thing. So she's trying not to feel really guilty about the things she has done to that guy. If it's that guy, it's a different guy. So she comes to a new guy. And she starts with, don't you tell me to deny it. I've done wrong. And so she immediately like kind of tells him what to advise her before he told her. So she set the rules. Again, it's all about power. In first stanza as well as in this one, she's taking control. And she's explaining because I want to suffer for my sins and I need guidance to be true. Yeah. So the vulnerability thing I see only in a place where she said, I don't know where I can begin. That's the only place which is kind of true in that whole kind of line. Yeah.
So the aspect of don't tell me to deny it is like, why are you saying that, right? Like, are you assuming that someone will tell that to you? Like, in what world are you living where people tell you
that?
She's asserting herself, like she's immediately telling people what to tell her or not to tell her something.
Right.
She's already
right, like
ordering around the psychiatrist or whoever it is.
But yeah, that's kind of funny. And it comes with like that, I want to be punished. And there seems to be a kind of perverse delight in that.
Yeah, like she's flirting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like she lays the whips and chains on the bed and it's like, I need to be punished. Okay. You got to teach me how to be good.
What did you think about that video? Though, like to me as a woman, she stood out like extremely anorexic. Like I wanted to feed her. Like what the like, girl, can I feed you? Just like there is, I could not see anything sexual in her except like she was desperately trying to look like a child, like really trying hard. And then like, yeah. It kind of gave me a sad vibe. Like I did not feel sexual. Like it seemed like she's trying to be sexual, but she's like very sad and like desperate. Comes off from the video.
I thought the video was like, I don't know, trying to show like a really decadent like lifestyle. Like it's these kids who kind of like act like they're in a magazine or something, but they all just look miserable.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just like, I don't know, like they're crying out for parenting.
I just straight out, I would not parent her, but I would just like feed her. Like, girl, here is a feast. Like, let me give you a hug. And at the beginning, there was like even an elephant in there. Like, the song literally started with a plush elephant. It's like, oh, that's your favorite toy, is it? Mm. Yeah. Okay, next line. I don't know, do you like to read it?
Oh, what I need is a good defense, because I'm feeling like a criminal, and I need to be redeemed to the one I've sinned against, because he's all I never knew of love.
Because he's all I ever knew of love. I like that awkward silence. I absolutely feel it.
I don't even know what you were trying to get at with that correction.
It makes a big difference, though. Like it changes her story. Yeah, it gives her a different type of motivation, Manuel. Yeah.
I only see one way to interpret that sentence.
I see at least two. Okay, Ezra, how do you interpret that?
I think it's really interesting, this idea that that she shifts and now she's talking about like it's a crime. So up till now, it's been like more religious is how it sounded to me. Like she's talking about the morality of it. But now she like goes into this different mode and it's like, you know what I really need is a good lawyer to defend myself to like, you know, because I feel like a criminal. But then it's kind of, you know, then we go back to the, I guess, the more religious with the being redeemed and to the one she sinned against. Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that because he's all I ever knew of love. Like that makes me wonder if, I guess the way I've always interpreted that line is like, I see it like she may have been with many other people, but she's ascribing a kind of purity or goodness to this man. Like this is the first good man that I was ever attracted to. And so naturally I'm like trying to test him and like make him prove his goodness. And so I'm breaking him down and kind of trying to destroy him to prove to myself that, you know, there is no such thing as goodness. So I don't have to take any more responsibility. And so he's all she's ever known of real love is kind of how I take that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I get the proof aspect, but it's also in not believing what you have or something, right? Like, so it's there's, I don't know, like there's a distinction for me where it's like, I can't accept what's there, and therefore I have to break it or pretend that it's not there, because I do feel like she knew, right? Like she was aware, and so the defense and the criminal aspect is her being in relationship to him, right? So she feels like she has to be a certain way or in order to be able to face it. I don't think it's coming from him, right? Like it's coming from her. It's in relation to herself, right? Like it's just that something she needs to feel in order to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
and then in some sense I need to be redeemed, right? Like there's this implication that she can talk her way out of it, right? And instead of confessing, she's in a defensive mode where she's trying to talk her behavior straight. So yeah, still not in the right orientation.
Yeah, definitely. I actually agree that it's nothing to do with the guy, but it's the way she submits to a guy. So she has to do a lot of bad stuff, and that's the only way she can submit to the guy she likes. Yeah, that's the way I see it. And then the way she comes in, oh, what I need is a good defense, sounds like she's flirting with the guy. Like she came actually to him, and that lines, all those lines directed to him. Like I think it's the way she confesses her love to him, because he's all I ever knew of love. And then she explains why she needs to go through this ringer. But again, it seems very immature. Because like a grown woman would be like, if she likes a guy, she's like, go to the guy and like, dude, I like you, and like we are together, without doing all this drama here. Like not very relatable.
Yeah, I see that like as like a kind of testing, which to me seems like this kind of immature in a sense thing. But it's really interesting because I feel like all the religious kind of metaphor goes really well with that, because it's like a reason to, it's like the origin of criminal behavior is this kind of like lashing out at the system or at other people, because it's like kind of refusing. It's like you didn't get the love that would have developed you into a person that takes responsibility. So you're kind of like a child person who tries to deny all responsibility, and they're like lashing out like a kid who tests the parent, like how far can I go? Like a kid, like a cat will like push the things off the table and like wait for the response, you know? And it's like, that's all she knows. So she's, you know, still trying to do that, even though it's a like more sophisticated relationship.
Yeah, there's a grounding that she's seeking, but she can't provide it herself, right? So she needs the external to provide it for her.
I see with teenager girls, I knew a couple of them, they would lie about how bad they are in order to seem interesting. So they would like make up a shit ton of things. Oh, I'm so bad. And then they would lie straight everything after that. And the reality is they like would want to believe it. And the actually bad girls would just like not talk about it. They were like,
oh, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Think of like Billie Eilish's song Bad Guy.
Yeah.
She was like under 18, and I think that you know, she's talked about like that song, and it's sort of like, well, it's all a lie. Like I'm not really bad. Like that's kind of the joke of the song.
It's the portrayal. There was an era when she came out, Fiona Apple, in Russia, there would be tattoo girls came out, and those were not even lesbians, and they would portray them because this is the thing that sells. And so women would have to make up a shit ton of stuff to seem interesting so that they would be on the screen. They would sell themselves and like lie about themselves and play roles in order to sell a record, to sign a deal. And you would notice the truth if they would continue doing it. Like if they would blow off, they would be like only star as long as they're young, and then it's gone. that's the thing, because their talent and their fame was driven by the building up a shit ton of stories which weren't exactly true. So the way that song, as I hear it, is to me like a bunch of lies in order to make the guy interested.
Yeah, but there's also an element of being lost, right?
True.
Like it's not really lies because she doesn't know the truth.
Mm.
I mean, she knows she's lying, dude. Like,
Yeah, but she doesn't know what the answer is. So she's searching.
Or it's like she still thinks she's bad on some level, like for the
Oh, yeah.
lying, you know, so it's this thing of like,
I
I'm
get
so
it.
bad, you know.
What I need is a good defense because I'm feeling like a criminal. Like, she doesn't say she's a criminal. She's just feeling like one. It's like, welcome into every teenage feelings ever. And I need to be redeemed. Yeah. I don't see anything beyond that. She's like trying to get the guy she likes interested in her. And she cannot say it straight. Listen, dude, I like you. Let's go out and do stuff. And instead of that, she like has to make it all dramatic. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Somehow.
I could also see that as like a kind of defensiveness. It's like she puts everything on this moral plane. It's about good and bad and what type of girl she is. So then it never has to like look at who she really is, you know, or something. Like it's a way to, you know, like she can disappear into the role, like you were saying, taking roles of the bad girl. So she doesn't have to really be vulnerably herself.
But again, right, like I don't think she knows how to.
Yeah, there seems to be a real desperation where she's looking for like the answer. I don't know how, right? I don't know where to begin.
I don't know
Yeah.
love, right? Like only he could show me what love is. Like I don't know it outside of him.
Yeah. Like there is always in every joke, there is a part of truth as well. Somehow. Yeah, I guess the lost part and social insecurity and immaturity is the true part in here. Okay, next line I will read myself. Heaven help me for the way I am. Save me from these evil deeds before I get them done. I know tomorrow brings the consequence at hand, but I keep living this day like the next will never come. Yeah, again, she hasn't done anything wrong. She just like dreams of it. She's like, she wants to do bad stuff. And she's like, oh, good guy, can you please stop me from all those bad thoughts? Yeah, sounds like she's just like a normal teenager.
I don't know. Like I don't see where she's where it says that she hasn't done these things. Like it says this is looking towards the future, right? Like I need to. I know I can't do the thing in the moment, so I need to be saved before I do the wrong thing. But I do believe that's based on experience, right? Like it's like, okay, like I've tried differently, but this is the way I am, right? Like and the way I am is a resignation in the fact that she can't change. So and that's an application of responsibility, right? So it's like I can't be responsible for being the better person, but that's like you're gonna have to be responsible in the end. Like there's no option where you're not gonna have to make the changes, right? Like people can try and help you, but like you have to go there yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
I do take it that she has hurt him in some way. And, you know, all she has said is that she was careless, but she also called him delicate. So I take it like she might have just been like being the way that she is, which is maybe defensive and maybe a little like fronting, or this bad girl thing, or acting out some kind of, you know, defensive posture, and that she did hurt him, you know. But I could take it, you know, I could take it like she's literally betrayed him a million times and done horrific things, and she's just completely underplaying it. Like, I was a little careless, and there's like a line of corpses. Or I could take it like it's much smaller, and it's really like she really hurt him, like, you know, like she made him cry and he's delicate, and she like doesn't understand, like, oh, why you're just so delicate, like I didn't, you know, I was just testing you and you folded. Like, she's kind of disappointed, but she, at the same time, she's also scared because she sees that she might blow up the relationship and it is valuable to her.
There is a pattern here that I learned from speaking to teenagers whom I definitely weren't. Okay. So it's when you feel like you don't get enough attention, let's say from your parents, and there is some coldness in them, and you like trying to get their attention and they don't give it to you. They're like super cold. They would brush you off. Sorry. You would find taste in making others care way too much. So it would be like kind of sort of sadistic joy in seeing another person being hurt and emotional because of you. And the easiest way to do it would be to find a really good guy and be very bad as like, and coming to him for help me. I can't stop myself. I'm so bad. I'm doing all those bad things. And like, and you would keep saying that. It's not necessary that you do all of those things. It's just like you want to see the way his face changes after you name all the horrible things that you did with all his friends, for example. But not true again. It's just like...
not necessarily true.
Not necessarily true.
Hypothetically, this could have happened.
Absolutely, very theoretically, almost, yeah, it's just a thought person. Very hypothetical.
That's funny. That makes me think of, you know, there's kind of this like Catholic vibe of this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like this thing of like in your example where she hasn't literally done the things,
mm-hmm.
but it's like, she's done them in her heart. So it's just as bad. So she's still a bad girl.
I don't know if it's as bad if you haven't actually done them. It's like,
but she could think that, like, you know, like, I don't know, to me that seems like, a little Catholic. It's like she has this guilt about her thoughts and, you know, her impure evil.
Imagine how many times
thoughts.
you fantasize about killing your neighbor who listening music way too loud, and you would like see all the ways you would like. But it's not as bad as actually going and killing your neighbor for listening music too loud. So thinking is not that big of a deal. Doing stuff is actually bad. Lying about it is also bad.
Because it's doing something.
But they are all like not the same level, like not as bad. In my opinion, action counts the most.
Well, yeah, but there's also an element, right? Like if you keep thinking things that you shouldn't be thinking, then you're just lost in this swamp, right? And it's a bad swamp, so you're creating your own hell. It's like,
what if you like it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes that. But
I think people also get confused. Like, I think that's kind of why I brought up the like certain interpretations of religion, maybe, where it's like you can believe, but I think even people just do this anyway. They think that if they think things that are messed up, that like a lot of people can have guilt or shame about that. Like just even having a thought, like I shouldn't be having that thought. And I think the worst thing is that if I thought that, then I must want to do it. So now I'm going to do it because I must want to, because I thought about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I actually talked about that today, where there's a separation between the thoughts and you, right? So there's an element where like I had this week, there's these intrusive thoughts just popping in. I'm like, why am I having this thought? Like, I don't want to have this thought. Please get away from it, right? So that's my reaction, because I can go into the thought and I go like, oh, right, like let's just do nothing all day or whatever, right? Like, no, like that's not the way I want to be thinking, right? Like if I end up doing nothing, that's a different thing, but like I don't want to do it because of this thought, right? Like that's, and I think that's where the negative aspect of the thought is, right? When it starts controlling your behavior, and maybe it's not making you kill the neighbor, but it's making you be sad or upset or whatever all
Or
day
lie.
instead of
Yeah.
or lie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like identifying with those thoughts, thinking that's me, you know, I am that thought. That's unhealthy.
Okay, what
I've
if
been in a lot of therapy.
what if you indulge in a thought and then you're like, well, but it's just a thought, and then you go further and be good person in actual world?
Yeah, well, there's two options, right? Like go into the thought or not go into the thought. Which one is better, right? Like that's.
What if the thought is very pleasant? Like it's absolutely enjoyable thought.
I think it's more about how, if we identify with the thought, it's that, is it a thought? You know, because it's like I could maybe, you know, because at least if you're choosing to like entertain a thought, even if it's about killing your neighbor, if you know it's a thought and not actually something you want to do, that's going to be better than if you're like, every thought I have is me. So if I think about killing the neighbor, I must be a murderer. Like I need to buy knives, you know?
I think I think people need to entertain all sorts of thoughts and like learn to navigate and decide who they are. Like they would think that thought through, but then like, nah, I'm better than that. The thing is, like, if they would keep running away from a thought rather than going through it with detail and deciding, I'm better than that, I'm not gonna to do it, it gives a person more agency. That's I mean,
Yeah,
that's why all those role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons are so popular, because people can finally get to exercise being a bad person, a bad character in a game.
But there's a problem there, right? Because when you have a thought, the thought doesn't tell you what to do with it, right? It doesn't tell you how to explore it, right? So like, I don't see any good reason to go into murdering your neighbor in your thoughts, right? Like you can go into why am I thinking that, right? Like that might be useful, but going into actually, well, I would step over the door and then I would like get the knife behind my back, and like I don't know why you would ever do that. Like I don't see the use of going there.
Sometimes those thoughts come really easily. Like
I know.
Like there are some neighbors who are so annoying, and you like, and you will be surprised how easy the thought of like stabbing that neighbor 20 times comes into your head.
What?
It doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, but it means
it means that you're really good at counting.
Like how you're like,
yeah.
You're like, I would never stab somebody, but I imagine each individual stab. of 20.
In details. Yeah, I mean, it somehow, I think it's a coping mechanism. It's like women have it especially because they feel weak, so they would like they feel powerless, and so good fantasy is the thing that would help them to deal with the situation.
Maybe, but the problem is, right, like when you've thought about it, when you're in the situation where you might actually do it, it's easier to do it.
Yeah.
Right, like if you've
When you're in
imagined all
this
20
situation,
stabs hundreds of thousands of times, you've imagined it
that's
in
obsession.
detail. Then you might just be like, you know, your hand
That's
moves on
normal.
its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become your thoughts somehow by that dynamic. Yeah, you have to control the amount of times you think about your neighbor. Okay, next line.
Oh, help me, but don't tell me to deny it. I've got to cleanse myself of all these lies till I'm good enough for him. I've got a lot to lose, and I'm betting high, so I'm begging you, before it ends, just tell me where to begin. What do you guys think?
I was trying to record awkward silence. I think she's good, and she knows she's good, but she's like, I'm not interested enough. Let me make up all that shit. Yeah, it's good to have minuses, because if you're too perfect, people are normally scared of you. But if you have all that darkness in you, they're like, yes, somebody we can feel comfortable around and better by comparison.
But she's scared of him.
I don't know, maybe. Don't see it in those lines. Projection?
Well,
Because she's
why
not
would-
good enough.
Yeah, like she's the whole song is about her being scared to be with him because she can't be who she wants to be with him.
I mean, she's trying to be bad
No,
to
she
precisely
says, like,
because she wants.
I've got to cleanse myself of all the lies till I'm good. Or good enough. So it's like, no, she's not good, right? Like she wants to go there. Like there's an element where she has to change. And
Yeah, she just has to
sees
tell the
need.
truth.
Well,
But it's like she has an inferiority complex.
Well, so Ezra went into this thing in the previous paragraph where there was this this aspect where she was in this old pattern of behavior, right? And I think that is a good model, right? She has normalized ways of being with boys, and then there's this fragile boy, and she's doing the things that she thinks are normal to do with boys, and then it's like, wow, okay, like that's definitely not working the way that it's supposed to. And then she sees, well, oh, I've adopted all of these bad behaviors, and I don't have the good behavior, right? And that's the lies, right? Like that's the lies are, I should treat boys this way, or this is normal, right? Like that's the lies I see she needs to cleanse herself from.
I still wonder who she's addressing that song to. Because now I'm starting to think she's talking to a different person though.
Yeah, to the third guy or the second guy, right?
Yeah, I think she talks to another guy here.
I agree. I think she is talking to somebody else. And it's actually funny because I loved this song for many years. And then I saw her perform it live. And it was only in this live performance that I was like, I think she's talking to somebody else. And I never got this in the song, that there's this third person who's like and it's like, what? Who is this third person? And I haven't thought
Well, I
about
think
it.
it's God actually, because the previous paragraph is literally a prayer, right? Like, heaven help me. So I like it. I think she might be just talking to God.
Now, I think that's really interesting because that it could also, because to me, in a sense, that's like depending on how you interpret God, there's like a godliness in all people, or there's some aspect of God that's connected to you. So it's like she's going to the perhaps there's some part of herself that is good, or that she believes is good, that she is like trying to connect with or appeal to. I also kind of like the idea, though. Do you guys know the song Jolene?
Yeah,
By
Jolene.
so in the
Was
song
it Dolly
Jolene,
Parton?
yeah, Dolly Parton. In Jolene, right? It's a girl who's talking to like a bad girl, who's gonna like, who can get any man that she wants, and she's saying like, please don't take this man, because like I'll love him forever, but he doesn't even really matter to you. And I like the idea that this song is like Jolene going to that girl for help to purify herself, to make herself better so that she can be with that guy. But it's like the girl she's talking to is also in love with him and is a good girl. So it's like I see this as very high school, and it's like the bad girl is like dating this, Christian guy or whatever. And then she doesn't feel good enough for him. And then like, what if she's going to like this other Christian girl who loves him in secret? And then it's like, you have to help me become better. Just that, it's just a kind of irony.
Ezra, there is this line, before it ends, just tell me where to begin. What ends? What does she mean?
I think it's the relationship.
Yeah.
So she sees it on a crash course, right? And she's like, I'm not in it, right? Like, I'm not part of the game. Like, I'm messing it up. Like there's no intimacy effectively, right? Like she doesn't know how to be intimate, and she knows she wants it, and she's afraid she's going to lose out.
Yeah.
Especially if like the way that she lashes out at people or kind of tests them, if the previous relationships didn't go this way, like those people never really got hurt, because maybe those people that she did it with before didn't really care about her, or it's like maybe she lashed out at like her parents, but they're like her parents and maybe they're distant, like you were saying. But now she's doing it to like a sensitive guy, so he just like is really hurt by it, and she's like, well, he's gonna leave. He's not gonna want to be with me. So before it ends, like, just tell me where to begin with the whole not lashing out and trying to control people, because I've never done that.
You're really specific in the way that she's transgressing.
My projection. Apologies. Oh wait, what am I saying? This is line by line. That's fine.
We love it. Projections is the thing we live by. Okay, Manuel, would you like to read the last one?
Let me know the way before there's hell to pay. Give me room to lay the law and let me go. I've got to make a play to make my lover stay. So what would an angel say the devil wants to know? Yeah, so again, right, she's looking for a door in. Give me room to lay the law, let me go. So she says, I want to punish myself. Like, I don't want you to imprison me. I need to do it myself. That's, yeah. And then I got to make a play to make my lover stay, right? So I think that's an aspect is like, okay, like I can't rely on you. Like it's gotta be me. Like I'm responsible. I need to change. I need to show you my value.
I think Ezra is right. She does ask another girl. She's like, she wants to make a play. She wants to know how a good girl would act so that the guy she likes would keep her. I think Ezra is right here. Like in that stanza, she's asking an angel, and she thinks she's the devil, actually. What do you think?
Well, like I was saying, I can see it. I could see it a few different ways because I definitely can see that she's gone to who she thinks of as an angel, and then I also agree that like kind of the particular word choice, it kind of sounds like talking to could be like talking to another girl in that stanza. But then of course I can also see that it could be like a prayer, or that we have that connection, even if it's by metaphor, to God, because I'm saying, what would an angel, it's like what that's very like we're invoking the angel, which is similar to looking to God. So it's like a prayer, even if it's to another person. And I can also see it as like the angel and devil on your shoulders, like in a cartoon. And she's like, okay, I never listened to this angel voice ever, but like now I need you. Like I never needed you before. I needed the devil to protect myself and feel powerful, but like now I really need the angel voice. So like, you got anything? And maybe like in a Daffy Duck cartoon, like the angel stuck in traffic, so it just doesn't appear or whatever,
Traffic caused by the devil. So
all traffic's caused by that.
wow, good point. So I think I've got to make a play. I think that's a cynical element, right? Like there's an aspect of control in making a play where I feel like she still doesn't get it, right? Like that's not the right way to resolve the issue.
It's like she's gone to this good girl, this like very pure Christian kind of virgin character, and she's like, okay, like maybe I can style my hair like you, and like, can I use some of these clothes? Because I have to like pretend that I'm, pure like you, which I could never be. But if I can convince him, he won't leave. So it's like doubling down. I need better lies. I need a good defense.
Right. Yeah.
I need to get out on a technicality.
Yeah. So it's also making stay, right? Instead of having him want to.
Oh yeah, she's not gonna cede control. That's not an option.
Okay, excellent. Manuel, would you like to summarize what you learned about that song?
Yeah. So I do feel like there's a right, like especially with those last lines, right? Like there's all of this stuff where she's recognizing the wrongs and that things need to change, but she doesn't realize where she's wrong, right? Like the way that she's wrong and the controlling aspect, right? Like I'm just going to go with the controlling aspect, especially with those last lines. That's where the mistake lies, right? Like she's trying to manipulate the situation into an outcome. And you can't have an honest relationship on that basis.
True. Ezra?
I agree. I also think, and I think it might be important that, the song ends with the chorus, like most songs. And so the last thing that she's actually saying is the is that he's all I ever knew of love, which might be one of the more vulnerable lines, because that's like as close as she gets, is admitting like that there's, I guess it's admitting how important the relationship is to her, how desperate she is to keep it, even though she's not really ceding that control. You know, and although she might be asking this, like, well, tell me how, like, tell me how to do that. And I think I take that as a little bit of a cop out, because it's that thing of like, oh, well, I don't know how to not control everything all the time. It's like you claim a kind of ignorance, and there might be an ignorance, but you can claim it like, you know, I don't even know where to even begin, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, I definitely changed my opinion about the song throughout line by line. So I do believe that at the beginning of the song she's still in a denial state, and then she opens up by the end of the song and tells actually the truth, which I did not notice before. Yeah, Ezra, thank you for bringing to us the song, and thank you for having free time. Again, a very loyal sponsor for doing good deeds. Same to you, Manuel. Thank you so much for having free time and lending your opinion. Please check out Ezra's and Manuel's YouTube channels. Beautiful music created by Ezra, and interesting podcast created by Ironroot with very interesting guests. And yeah, bye.
Okay.
8.8 thousand. So the most liked comment under Fiona's video, the link is provided below.
I remember her winning an MTV award and standing on stage saying, "This world is bullshit." I thought that was awesome. She meant the music industry, the front stars put off for everybody to see. It's all just a bunch of fake ass bullshit. She told the kids out there watching not to try and be like them or dress like them. Be yourself, because it's all just bullshit. People got mad at her for that. She became my hero. 88,000 likes. 8.8.
Yes.
Jesus. Most like. Okay. Bless my parents who had to listen to 14-year-old me sing this on repeat during our 3-day drive to Maine.
How many likes?
6,400.
Excellent. Bless those parents. Okay.
Man, I think I should put
There
an
we go
elephant in the background so that we can know the elephant in the room.
It's okay. He was just right there. Okay, sorry, I'm just...
I'll be the elephant. It's fine.